Eh, 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 eh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't really have to explain what that is. Everybody knows what song that is. Sunflower. Sway Lee. And the motherfucker who's on a lot of drugs. Post Malone. The Postman. Let Sha'Carri run. Let Sha'Carri run. Let Sha'Carri run. That's what I'm chanting today. I have a lot of friends who are surprisingly like against. First of all, my bad for going away for a month. I let life bog me down. Not like any bad way or anything. I'm not like going through anything wild. Life's still good, but just like work stuff, extracurricular stuff. That's not this thing that I'm doing now. Just, all that stuff kind of gets in your way. And I unfortunately let it get in my way, resulting in no episode for the last month, which sucks. It's unfortunate because I have had things to say. And, there's a certain window, like when you're doing this shit, it's just like you like strike while it's hot, right? Strike while the iron's hot. Like shit that was important 3 weeks ago no longer matters anymore. Like I could bring some ancient shit up and you guys would be like, that's a gone. The issue's over. Like we've moved on. We're worried about Sha'Carri now. The things that mattered 3 weeks ago, that might as well be ancient history to a lot of people. By the way, this haircut right now, this haircut that I got, I don't know if you can tell from, the angle and everything, but this shit looks good. Taper fade. Leave the top. Now, guess, do you think the barber saw me at our appointed time? Just take a stab in the dark. A stab in the dark. Do you think the barber saw me at our appointed time? The answer to that question is so obviously no. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, what's crazy is the better the barber, the less chance of them going zzz at the appointed time. You walk in early. If you're 5 minutes late to your barber appointment, like you're still way early. Like you're not getting in that chair until 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes after. Like any good barber is just shit. Like it's just shit. One, they're always booked, so they have people coming in all day. Somehow they're always behind schedule. Like there is no such thing as a barber that's on time. Unless the barber has no clients and he's just sitting there and he just is like, please let me cut your hair. Those barbers, the please let me cut your hair barbers. Like just give me please sir, can I cut your hair? Cortar tu pelo. I don't know why I said that with an Italian accent. I think that's to cut hair. To cut your hair in Spanish. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, obviously. But all these barbers do because they're all Puerto Rican. They're all Puerto Rican. Either from the island or they moved to New York or they're first generation or whatever. Like my parents are from Puerto Rico. I moved to New York and now I live in Florida. That's literally all this place is. Florida is Puerto Ricans who were from Puerto Rico, moved to New York, and then now they just want to live in Florida now. So they're all here. They're all Puerto Rican. And they all will not see you on time unless you're like tight with them. Like not even then. Because they still got to take care of the guy before you. Like they're not just going to give up on the head before you and just see you. Like that's just not going to fucking happen. And there's nothing to do but just live with it. I go back and forth between, do I accept this torture? Or do I not get a good haircut? And the answer is, I accept the torture. Like they know, the barbers know that they're in high demand. Like they know this. They know they have the upper hand with the clientele. Like they'll treat you nice and they'll respect you, but they know, and you know, it's like an unspoken agreement. You both know the barber controls like your life in his hands. Like he can, oh bro, I'm sorry, I can't see you. Like, you know how deflated you'll be if like a barber tells you something like that, bro. I can't even see you. You'd be like, fuck, now I gotta hop on Booksy, right? Everybody's on Booksy now or whatever. Make an appointment through Booksy. The last barber I was seeing, I've seen 3 barbers since I've been here. One of them's kind of terrible, and the other 2 are really good. The one barber that his shop, he's the owner. It's like 5 minutes from my place. And whatever, he cuts me a couple times. It's not that great. My girlfriend fucking hates his ass. She's like, stop letting him cut your hair. And I'm like, it's not that bad. She's like, yes, it is. I don't know. I don't know what's real or not after that. I mean, I guess her opinion does and should carry more weight than mine, I guess, in terms of like haircut and looks and stuff like that. So I'm like, fuck, I guess this guy's really fucking up. My girlfriend's not fucking with this dude. And here I am, keep going back to him. And then he texts me. Like, I book on the Booksy. And he sends me a message like the night before or the morning of. Hey, can you meet me over here? I cut here now. I'm like, no, man. Look at your address on Booksy. You can't say I'm here on Booksy. If you don't know what Booksy is, it's fucking services, right? Haircut. Whatever else you can imagine. Let your imagination run wild. Imagination. It's like, the address is like, oh, here I'm on Kennedy. Okay, man. Why are you getting appointments booked for your address on Kennedy if you're 20 minutes from that location? Like, no, man. Like, I'm not gonna be chasing you all over town, dude. Like, there's literally zillions of barbers out there. Now, most of them probably not good or average, but I would rather go get an average haircut than I don't even know now. Can I even call his haircuts average? I don't know. But I'll rather drive 5 minutes for an average haircut than 30 minutes for a kind of good haircut. Like, the difference in convenience is just too much to overcome for somebody that's 5 minutes away from me. Now I found this guy who's 10 minutes away from me. And this was literally the biggest barbershop I've ever fucking been in. There's 10 chairs in that motherfucker with room for more. There's 10 chairs in it. It's like the size of my fucking apartment. It's huge. It smells great. It's well lit. The guy was, obviously now we're like digging into personalities. The guy was cool. He sat down. Hey, bro, I got you in a minute. Of course, didn't see me on time, but I forgave him. Because he has like 600 reviews on Booksy. Literally 600 reviews. Like, that's a lot of fucking reviews. That means people are actually how often do you ignore that? The review mark on like, hey, leave a review for this restaurant. You never do it. You never fucking do it. This is a cortado, by the way. Apparently, I don't know. I just like to order random shit at random times. So honestly, I don't even know what a cortado is. The people at the coffee spot, they were like, it's a little coffee or whatever. Basically, that's how they summed it up. A beverage consisting of espresso mixed with roughly equal amount of warm milk to reduce the acidity. Damn, I'm good. Hey, the way I read, man, damn, I'm good. Damn, I'm good. So well spoken. I had this, I don't speak Spanish. For those of you who are watching this, all 30 of you, sometimes less, sometimes more, sometimes significantly more. It's hard to know who's all listening because I have like 3 different audio. Like, it's YouTube, Spotify, and I use Buzzsprout, this other thing, to get listeners. I don't really check the numbers like that obsessively, which is honestly good for my mental health. But for those of you who know me, which is everybody who's listening to this podcast, I don't have random listeners yet. I don't speak Spanish, and it's always like a point of contention with, like, when I meet other Hispanic people, which is here in Tampa literally all the time. This one chick at work was like, oh, you don't speak. Yeah, you can tell he doesn't speak Spanish from his white boy voice. From his white boy voice. I have a white boy voice, and I never thought of it that way growing up. What I thought of it as, I get what she means. I'm not stupid. It's just like a very straight, not really like, I don't have any accent to me that I know of, unless you consider the North as like accent having, but I don't. I'm just like Midwest, solid English. What is the word? How do you fucking pronounce it? Like, and what's the right way to pronounce it? Not like New York, I'm go to the store. Yeah, I went to the store. No. Store. Anyways, but she's basically saying like you have a flavorless way of speaking. A flavorless way of speaking. Oh my God, I have no flavor in my voice. That's just good. It was like not an insult, but at the same time, like, it's like, yeah, I'm like roasting you a little bit, like his white boy voice, and I'm surrounded by people who have Spanish accents. Like, there is no, like, I'm not gonna win in that scenario and be like, I don't even have a good comeback for that because I don't really care. Like, when people have accents, I'm not like, I mean, I could go way the fuck out of pocket and just like, I don't have anything funny to say in return, It's just like, I was never a good roaster at the lunch table, Like, I was like, just, I would rather kind of say nothing and just laugh along because, one, I don't really get my feelings hurt like that. And 2, it's just, if worse than saying nothing is having a bad comeback. Like, a bad comeback in a roast battle is like, now you really need to shut the fuck up. And maybe shut up forever. Not forever, but, round 2, round 3, whenever the next roast battle is. Whenever you start getting your ass lit on fire. And I'm really jealous of those people who can, like, roast you on some stupid shit. Like, I remember there's this guy, Mike. His name is not Mike Smitty. That's, like, his music name or whatever. He's, like, this, I guess, kind of local musician in my area. Local as in you wouldn't know it. Look up his music. Fuck it. I like the guy. We were always cool. He would say stuff like, that's why your cat lives on Ezekiel Street. And it would get the biggest laughs. Like, your cat lives on Ezekiel Street. And people would die laughing. And I couldn't, I know kind of where I am. I can't follow up and be like, or, try to do the same. Yeah, your cat lives on Ezekiel Street. Like, you can. It's all in the way you do it. But, I just never had that thing where I can, like, easily roast somebody. Now, if you have done something really fucked up, I will latch on to that. And I will cry laughing. And I will say, oh, why did you do that? And then all of a sudden it's like, the buildup of like, and now I'm fucking turned into a hyena. If I turned into a hyena, you fucked up. Because that means you really did something that tickled the shit out of my fucking funny bone. But this is a cortado. They were like, it's a fucking little coffee, bro. But they were like, don't worry. It's just as much coffee as you usually get. Look at the size of this thing, though. Like, this is what it came in. It came in this little tiny ass, like, look at that. Look at that compared to, like, my fingers. Like, I can crush it in my hands if I wanted to. but it looks delicious. If I had like a loose camera setup, I would show you, but I mean, it smells great. I'm going to drink this on here. One, because coffee makes me turn up. And there's just something about a good cup of coffee that I can't quit. I just can't quit, baby. I just can't quit. Smells fucking great. I know it's going to taste good because it's from this little... It doesn't taste good because it's not from Starbucks. I'm not some fucking hipster fuck. We're like, oh yeah, it's not Starbucks. It tastes good. Starbucks is good. You know what's not good? Like coffee pot coffee from the fucking office, the cubicle farm. It's literally like diarrhea. It even makes a diarrhea noise. It's like, and at the end, it's like straining, like a light brown, watery, like. And I drink that shit happily, mind you, just because it's caffeine. I would do like Monsters and shit, but that, like, goddamn, the amount of sugar is like fucking. Excuse me. The amount of sugar is like, what is going on? Oh. Whoa. Whoa. To reduce the acidity. I don't know if the acidity is... This feels really acidic. If you don't drink coffee, start and don't start. It's delicious. Caffeine is legitimately a drug. And it's maybe like the only drug I do nowadays, because I don't even really drink anymore. I will drink like a couple of drinks, 3, 4, 5, 6 if I'm getting crazy. But yeah, this is really fucking strong. Ooh, bitter. Has a nice bite to it. But good. Good in its own way. The acidity needs to be cut a little bit more, but that's a cortado. It comes in this little tiny ass thing. It probably would have came in like a little, you know, like those teacups where it's like you can't even put your fucking fingers or nothing like through the little handle. It's like a little. That's what it would have came in, but I got it to go. And I remembered to go in Spanish today. I went to go get some tacos. Sitting right next to me here. Had to before I turned on the pod. And I remembered a little bit of Spanish. The guy, I was like, I love tacos. It's the most Mexican thing about me. It's my favorite food. Always has been, probably always will be. I've never burnt out on it. I've never allowed myself to be burned out on it. Because, you know, I'm like, man, I already had tacos once or twice this week. Let's give it a fucking break. Guy was like, por aquí or para llevar? I was like, oh, I remember that from my time living in Spain. Para llevar. And Mexican dude across from me was like, good shit. That's it. I only know like so many words. And I'm forgetting more and more every day. And I never knew that much to begin with anyways, because my mom didn't want to teach me Spanish. When you're a 16-year-old mom, you don't want to teach your kids Spanish. You want to throw the baby against the wall. When you're a 16-year-old mother, you want to throw the baby against the wall. Like, imagine you're 16, like, and there's a baby crying next to you. And the best case scenario, you're getting help. But at the end of the day, everybody's like, that's your fucking baby. If it's crying, tend to it. So I know my mom, like, I know I wasn't a wanted kid. Over time, I became more wanted. But you know what 16-year-old wants to have a kid? Not anyone who dreams of being successful right away. It's a fucking accident. I was an accident. Most kids were accidents, by the way. I really believe that. And I don't know if that's just my fucked up view of the world, but I really do believe most kids were accidents. Because, I mean, a baby's just so much work, bro. Crying and shit. I'm 29 and I still don't have a baby. Why? Because I know how much work they are. Anyways, let Sha'Carri run. She got busted for smoking weed. I guess her mom died and she smoked some weed to cope with it. You know, I mean, a good reason. I would think if my mom dies, I might fly off the handle a little bit. And it might be more than just a little weed smoke. I don't know. But she smoked some weed. She got a suspension for the Olympics, which the suspension forced her to miss one of the events that she was supposed to run. The team, like I guess America, if you want to, Team America, didn't let her run in the other event. So 2 events. One, she's not allowed to run in. The other, they just kept her off the roster, even though the suspension was over from like the IOC, which is like the International Olympic Committee or whatever. That in combination with some World Anti-Doping Agency, like they kind of work hand in hand to make the rules. I don't know the specifics of how they work together, all right? Forgive me. But there is disappointingly a high amount of people that are like, rules are rules. I'm like, that is such a silly... Like, what a silly way to just give in to just authority. Rules are rules, huh? Hey, slavery is a thing. Rules are rules. Like, it's just a slippery slope. I know that that's the most extreme of examples, but it's a slippery slope when you're just like, rules are rules. Rules are rules? That's it? Like, that's all you got to say about it? She knew. Obviously, she knew. Because you don't make it to that level of athletics without kind of knowing some general fucking rules, right? But even then, it's just like, who cares? Nobody's saying it's performing enhancing. It's legal in a lot of states. It's illegal federally. That's not really... That holds no relevance to the conversation because it's not an American rule that she broke. The team made the decision to leave her off the second event, which is so corny to me. So corny. I feel bad for her. I feel sympathy for her. And if you're one of those people that are like, rules are rules, the rules are rules, people. I mean, how many times am I going to say that? Rules are rules. Okay. You get it. I mean, just stop it. Everybody thinks rules are you know what, because I don't want to keep saying that shit, until it comes for them. Did I ever read you guys this? This is one of my favorite. This is called And Then They Came For Us. I can't find it. I am going to find it, and I'm going to fucking read it. It's from like Martin Niemer or something. I don't know why Japanese internment camp videos are popping up. I mean, obviously that's a thing, but first they came. I'm looking at it wrong. It's a different part of, I guess, like a poem or like kind of a speech, but German Lutheran pastor, Team Lutheran right here, let's go, Martin Niemöller. Here it goes. First they came for the socialists. And I may have read this on here already, but I'm going to fucking read it again because emphasis is required a lot of the time. I really believe in emphasis. First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. I got you. I got you. You know the aha moment? Aha! Aha! I got you with that. I slammed you. I slammed your argument. Nobody cares until they come for you. You have to speak up for people along the way of them getting fucked up. And she's actually being, Sha'Carri is actually being very graceful about this whole thing. Like, she could easily be like, it's a fucking ridiculous, antiquated rule. Fuck these motherfuckers. Everybody knows I'm the fastest chick on earth. And that gold would have been mine. Like, she could really be popping off. And I would have been like, I feel her. Like, I understand that. Like, you can't just let rules be rules. You can't celebrate Rosa Parks sitting on the back of, like, sitting on the bus if you're also a rules are rules across the board person. Like, not all rules are created equally. Not all rules are necessary. Like, that's the theme, though. Like, it's an unnecessary rule. Why is it a rule? And then they're like, well, maybe next time. Oh, and 4 years from now, that kind of next time. And I don't really, the argument that everybody else is following the rules, it's just so weak to me. Because it's a stupid rule. The premise is off base. Everybody else follows the rules. You're on the wrong premise. Why is it a rule? Let's start there first before they're following the rules. The stupid rules? Fuck them. Not fuck the people following the rules. Fuck the rules that are stupid. That's really where you should be with it. I mean, to me, that only makes sense. It really feels like such an obvious situation. Like, all right, well, you know what? As a stupid rule, let's reverse it. Let her run. All good. No more stupid rule. But no, do you guys know UCMJ rule about sodomy? Any person, there's the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which does apply to me. Maintain the criminalization of sodomy. Any person subject to this chapter who engages in unnatural carnal copulation with another person of the same or opposite sex or with an animal is guilty of sodomy. Sodomy is like butt sex, bruh. Sodomy. Sexual intercourse involving anal or oral copulation. Head. Are rules still rules? All you military guys out there who I know, because the military is rampant with conservative ideology. Not always for the bad. I don't want to get into left, right, this, that, or whatever, but, there's a lot of good that comes with conservatism. That's not one of them. You're telling me all these military guys are not going to be getting head because rules are rules? I mean, let's be serious. That's the part that gets me is, like, let's be serious. Guys are getting head. Girls are giving head. Guys are giving each other head. Like, girls are giving each other head. Like, I mean, it's just stupid, bro. It's really fucking stupid. Shohei Ohtani. Current ERA 3.49. Not the greatest ERA. Not gonna win him the fucking Cy Young. Let's just get that taken care of right off the bat. But 3.49 ERA is really good. That's like, you could pitch for fucking, if your ERA is 3.5, you can pitch for 17 years in the MLB if you were to be consistent with that. Now, his batting average 279, kind of low. But, I mean, if you're batting 280, that's like, I mean, kind of low in the sense that it's not like blowing anybody away. But like, if you're batting 280, that's kind of respectable, to be honest. Because, I mean, if you're batting 300, you're like, damn, he had 300 on the season. Like, that's some shit. Home runs, 33. He recently passed Hideki Matsui, the other Japanese who, famously played for the Yankees. And it was considered a power hitter, by the way. Like, Hideki Matsui, like, he has power. He has passed Hideki Matsui's single-season home run mark before the All-Star break. there's a whole another 80 games to play. He's pitching 3.5, and he's crushing it when it comes to home runs. And, you know, batting average, on-base percentage, 362. Really good. Like, good enough. You're on base more than a third of the time. That's considered, like, successful in baseball. Baseball is a game of failure. Numbers that look bad are, like, really impressive in baseball. Wow, only 30% of the time? Like, that's a fucking goddamn F. Not if you're playing baseball. If you hit 30% of the time, success. Eureka. You're going to get to probably 3,000 hits in your career. It's incredible. I don't know. I think it definitely started with Ichiro, just because, I don't know, just something when I was a kid and I was like, man, this guy's coming from way over there and he's going to try to make it work here. And he did. And I was like, fuck. Something good is going on over there in Japan in the NPB. And Shohei is luckily another example of success. And I really think that, I know it's hard. But it does seem odd that more pitchers aren't taught. I mean, obviously in the American League, there's no reason for them to because of the DH rule. But, I mean, why not? Why not go that route of just letting them keep batting? It's such an elementary, like, question, but baseball's not that difficult in terms of thought process, like in terms of understanding the game. Like, it's not that difficult. In terms of execution, it's a lot harder. Pitching and batting, you know, fielding, depending on the position and stuff. But yeah, I mean, just let the fucking pitchers bat. Never let go of that from a young age. Just keep fucking swinging the goddamn bat. And then you can have some fucking success. You can be the next Shohei Ohtani. It doesn't have to be this fucking gimmick like thing from Japan. It can be just the nature of the beast, which, you know, what team doesn't appreciate that? But anyways, 3.5 ERA mixed with these hitting stats, that's MVP stuff. That's production you're not getting out of anybody. You're not getting that production out of anybody. Ever. Like, they're comparing him to Babe Ruth because that's like the last time a pitcher had any type of like significant hitting stats. I mean, before Shohei, it's like Carlos Zambrano has 5 home runs on the year. Incredible. Like, that was like the big whoopee of pitchers hitting. Wow, you know, he's batting 190 on the year for a pitcher. Like, it's not so bad. Now, if his ERA rises to 7, forget what I said about. Forget this moment. If his ERA rises to 7, it's over. There is no more MVP because a fucking shortstop could have a ERA of 7, you know. And obviously, if his hitting falls off, crazy significant too. But if he keeps the current pace that he has for the rest of the year, shoe in for the MVP. That's it. That's really it for the podcast too. I just wanted to put out an episode because it's been a while. I'm going to finish this bitter-ass coffee. I wince every time I drink it, but I'm going to finish it. And that's it. Box of chocolates. I'm Michael Diaz. 16-year-old mothers want to throw their babies against the wall.